to bounce at all, if you can bounce, but you can just keep it steady. So you know that. Take a few options. Punching. Tend to this when it's cold. And punching up. And even bouncing round. So our ladies here have been bouncing for a few moments. So we're not going to spend much longer in bouncing, as we've just been chatting. So shake out. And then let's begin to circle the lower back. Drawing at the pelvic floor, hollow out, and make a lovely big circle. All the way around. Go in one direction. And then the other direction. And if you're feeling strong enough, you can bring your lower back towards the ball, as I'm showing you, drawing at the pelvic floor, hollow. Nice big circle. Go one way, and then the other. So we need a strong enough core to be able to come right onto the ball with our back, and then come back to sitting. And we'll do that again the other way. And the good thing about this warm weather, I don't know if you've noticed, we're a lot more supple, and actually aches and pains often do reduce in this warm weather. So, you know, some good stretching. It's a good time to do stretching when it's like this. Anyway, we bring the arms from the side and we bring the hands over the head, and as we exhale, we take a full stretch. Close your eyes if you like. So as you know, this is how I tend to teach now. I tend to ask you to go inwards. Focus on the breath, the mindful awareness of what we're practicing, and the calming of the mind. So feeling the body, full body stretch. We'll do it a couple more. Interlace the hands, push the heels of the hands up, keep stretching, shoulders drop down, and we can look up as well if we wish. Keep breathing. Bring the hands over the head and stretch a fraction more. And just notice where you might be stiff, upper back, shoulders. Give a little bit of a wiggle from side to side. That's it. And then allow the arms to come down. And floating arms, this is one of our Pilates exercises to align the shoulders. Breathing in, the hands are at the front. Exhale, we draw slowly out. Sit tall. Focusing on the breath. And we've got one more now coming up. Good. Moving into our side reaches. You can, if you feel secure, lift a heel, breathing in at the bottom. Exhale to stretch across. And take hold of the top wrist and ease into the side. Feel this whole side body stretching, going a little bit deeper into it. Come back up again. Switch the side. And allow the arms to float down. As the arms float down, we sit tall. And as we exhale, we twist round. Breathe into the middle, breathe out to look round. And one more to each side. And as we exhale, we look over the shoulder and we see if we can go a bit deeper. And just notice that. Can you go a bit further? Again, with this lovely warm weather, we might find that we are actually able to deepen our stretch. And that's a good opportunity, therefore, to release into the spine. And just find that bit more space there and go the other way. Keep breathing, looking round. Again, a bit deeper. Good. Come back to center, elbows on waist and waiters. Again, a classic Pilates exercise to tell the shoulders where they need to be sitting. Retract the chin. Good. Exhale on the open. You're nice and calm and steady. One more. Rest the hands on your legs, tongue lightly behind the front teeth while we move into half circle. Chin grazes the chest. Sit back up, look from side to side, breathing into the middle, breathing out to look round. One more to each side. Let's hold these two. Could you look a little bit further round? Back to the center, go the other direction. Again, return our head to center while we retract the chin. Let the head drop to one side, close the eyes. Bring up fire point. Well, we feel the release through the right side or the left side. It doesn't matter if you're mirror imaging. We just wait for the gravity, don't we, to release. And then we can actually take that right hand a little bit further down the ball to create a stretch, or even gently draw on the arm. You can take the arm behind you and do a small neck circle. Again, leave the head side hanging. Come to your diagonal, nod your head. Find the most uncomfy spot. Stay with that. And if you can, gently draw on the hand behind you. So the opposite hand, you'll notice that you're creating an extra stretch, just as we do when we hold on to the ear. And opening out the chest and stopping as being round-shouldered. And then we'll take hold of the opposite ear. Slide your fingers from your ear all the way down to your collarbone. Breathe in. Exhale, make space. Hand at the back of the head and do your gentle manipulation. Moving the head around. And then take the nose towards the armpit. So this is the exercise that my chiropractor gave myself. Just this additional bit, nose to armpit, which I wasn't adding in. And again, you can even stretch the other arm a little bit further away and find the point. You know, you want to go into the discomfort and maybe just do some little micro movements to try and ease up where your neck is. Maybe move the head around and then keep breathing. And then we sit up. And when you sit up, just for a moment, observe how lopsided we feel. Can you all feel that, ladies? You're really drawn, aren't you, to the other side? So remember that happens when we are doing things on one side. So drop the shoulders. First of all, find your length, and then take your head to the other side. So when we're working with the neck, we want to keep nice and calm and steady, and breath, no force ever. And you can move your head around a fraction. You can take the other arm down your back and gently draw on it. These are all options. You don't have to do that, but I think that little bit extra manipulation can be helpful. Nose to armpit. And then maybe go careful with the neck circles. Do a little bit of a neck circle. And then let's hold the opposite ear, and this time we slide the fingers from the ear to your collarbone. Breathe in, exhale, make space. Hand at the back of the head. Again, just give yourself that little bit of a self-manipulation. You'll soon discover where you feel the tightest, and you should be able to also discover when you're holding a stretch which one gives you the most benefit. Obviously, we're all different. And just stay with it. And my chiropractor just, even though I do rolling every day, she just told me to roll my neck, and I said, well, I already do, so I'll just do it a bit more. So I've been trying to remember that, roll the shoulders. And that said, I thought, oh, I've got them both out. I forgot my rolling pin and pressure mat. I must have left them upstairs when I was getting my video stuff out. So take hold of the base of the neck, stretch your neck, support the head, open out your chest, breathe deeply, and look up. Feel the opening, and notice how that affects our shoulders. Notice if your shoulders are stiff. They're usually stiff if your neck is also stiff. And you can even do a little bit of that manipulation here. And then slide down, and there's your massage coming in. So it can be fingers, a massage stick, or whatever else you might use. Right, firmly in. Remember your joint oils. They should be on your body as well. And then we go again, and we look up. And we look down. Good. And then roll the shoulders and have a little bit of a shake. Excellent. So let's do roll downs now. So come to standing. Bend your ball between our knees, or a cushion, unless we have a condition that prevents us doing this. So as ever, take a moment to be upright, shoulders back, chin retracts, take a lovely deep breath. Imagine we've got that soft peach shape and we're going to roll ourselves down, bone by bone, arrive at the bottom, take a lovely full inhale, always breathe calmly and fully. And then as we exhale, restack your spine, all the way back to the top, shoulders sit back, elevate to the ceiling with your crown, and continue in your own time. Maybe we want to use this movement called flossing, this little shift of the body weight. You can do that if you like. And just when you come to the bottom, take another lovely full breath in. And scoop and hollow all the way back up. And we'll do it last one coming up now. Bend the knees and begin to hit the glutes. And then let's, as usual, do our rubbing, massaging wherever we need to, knees, lower back, etc. Drop fully down. In to look forward, exhale to drop the head. Again, we're going to look forward on the inhale, exhale, drop down, hold the stretch, and just dangle into it. Really good to do these deep stretches. And let's take the hands over to your left side. Now you'll feel that more probably into your right buttock and side of your leg. So really try and rotate. It's a really good stretch if you're tight in the lower back and buttocks. It's interesting enough, we do this in Tai Chi as well, in part of a form called the Yu Jin Jin. Bring the hands to the center, and then the hands go the other way. And then roll ourselves up again, all the way up. That's it, good. And then working the glutes with our deep ski squat, scapular squeeze, and the rise is up. So ski squat, scapular squeeze, rise up. Find your balance. If you find you are in balance, take a few moments to hold the upright posture and even see if you can close your eyes, which clearly is stronger. And then you can, to work on our strength, we can hold each position a little bit longer. So squat, ski squat, squeeze the shoulders back and down nice and low. Rise up, look ahead. Good. Try some more. And the last one we're going to hold. So that's coming up now. So hold it here, deepen the squat. Squeeze the shoulders, ski squat. And then rising up. Seeing what's happening with the balance. Can you hold it? And slowly down. Well done, ladies. Good. So find our big ball. So I'm going to change this round a little bit today. We're going to do some core work, some ab work, then we're going to stretch. So when you do your abdominals, you know, when we stretch backwards over the ball, we also stretch the abs. So we're going to do our usual walk to this part of the ball. If by any chance this doesn't suit you, you can do your crunches from the mat and take your hands to the back of your head and slowly lift up. Now it's the coming back and forwards that can make people feel a bit dizzy, a bit queasy. So if you think you're not happy about going fully back, just go about halfway. You'll still get a crunch in your stomach. So do it. I would do it slowly, especially when it's warm, and we won't do too many going fully back. Okay, so again, just decide whether you're okay with that fully back and coming up. And then we'll stay up and we will do more pulse type movements. That's it. So pulsing, pushing into the floor with your feet. You'll feel it in your quads as well. Keep breathing. And then if you can, we're going to try to twist this. So opposite hand to opposite knee. So you're really working those obliques And when we strengthen the core, we do have to do specific crunches like this as well. It's not just enough to do things like your starfishes, your heel peels. You do need to get this crunch action, and you need to work the side waist, which is the oblique muscles. And if you're feeling strong, you can also start to lift a heel or even not support your neck and just push past with 2 hands, which makes it stronger because you're not, your arms have got weight in them. But again, work out if that's okay for your neck. You might want to keep your hands to the side of your neck. And if you haven't quite had enough yet, onto your tiptoes, little pulses. So it should go to the point where it's comfy, your stomach muscles are working, your quads are working. You feeling it yet, ladies? Keep going. Just another 8, just in case. All right. Well done. Hold it, hold it, hold it. A bit higher, higher, higher. Feel it, feel it, feel it. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Well done. And if you've done that properly, you should be aching in your stomach and your quads. If you weren't, you can carry on. So here we'll do our shoulder circles as well as our backward stretch. So we're getting in 2 things here. We're not just stretching the spine, we're stretching the abs. And of course, we're releasing the shoulders. If you feel confident, you can start to straighten the arms. Breathing in, the hands will move towards your knees. Exhale, they'll go towards the floor. Again, nice and steady. When you feel you've done enough of those circles, again, only if it feels okay to you, fully back, otherwise go into a smaller ball. So, there's always a choice. Nobody should feel that in a Pilates class, there isn't an option that's right for them. If we haven't already given it to you, just stop. I'll always spot you, or just say, that's not suiting me. Is there something else I could do instead? And there always will be. Now we're going to stay in the stretch. Really work with your stretch today. Enjoy the fact it's warm and our muscles are looser than normal. And then if you're confident, you can start to raise a leg or heel peel at the least. Remember, you want both hands fully on the floor if you're going to do that. And then we have some very strong, supple people who feel they want to lift both legs. I wouldn't suggest that unless you're super strong and very experienced on the ball. Good, and then very slowly we're coming up. Support the head and just take a moment so we're not dizzy. Good, now we're going to stretch the side waist because you're doing the twists, you're using these muscles here. So we come to our side body stretch, stretching from your toes to your fingers. Make a straight line if you can. That's it. And notice, I like to do this stretch because if you've got a tightness in your lower back, your hip, stretching all down the lower back, the hip, and you can really work with that space. And then hold the top wrist, gently draw on it. And if you're feeling quite in control, you can lift the top leg as well, which means you need a little bit more balance, it's a bit stronger. Keep breathing, keep stretching into your toes. Lovely. And slowly move to our other side. Good, and you get a nice line there, ladies, as well. Oh, I didn't add the shoulder circles today, Paula. We'll leave those out today. But normally we add shoulder circles. And even, when it's, obviously I do try to do things a little bit differently. I try to use different equipment, but of course you do get used to a certain style, and we all get into our habits and ways of doing things. I always like to do things in in the warm-up in particular in a certain way to make sure you've done all the muscles you should in the warm-up. And then stretch that top arm. Keep breathing. You can lift your underneath leg, top leg I should say, and torpedo it away. Good. And then support the head. And then our counterbalance stretch. So here we put the head on the side of the ball, as we know, and just gently rock to release. One way, then the other. And then let's hand over the ball, head drops down. Remember, you can use the back revolution. I want to do that after class. It's actually a better stretch for your back, hang upside down on the back revolution than this. Swing your legs. Switch one leg for the other. Nod the head. And now we squat. Now here, as I was just saying, I've left my rolling pin, which is much better than your hands, but if you've just got your hands, get in there deeply with your knuckles. And if you have been driving, we had a fairly long drive back from Wales, about 4.5 hours, and both my husband and I were both saying how stiff we were in our back and hips. So 4.5 hours of sitting is not good for anybody's back, and I personally find if I've sat that long, I absolutely have to not do 4.5 hours of exercise, but I would certainly need to do about an hour, to release that. So just be mindful of that if you find yourself being inactive, and particularly if you're sitting, driving, I think that's the worst. Yeah? All right, so let's leave that there. And we're going to work with our resistance bands today. So we're going to do some upper body strength with them, but also some lower body strength. So there are different strengths of resistance bands. So if you stand on one and it feels too easy or too hard, I think you've all got beginner bands, so you should be fine with those. We do start people on a beginner, but if you find it too easy, then clearly go up to the next level. They're not terribly expensive. And you never know when you might need that again. You might have an injury in your shoulder and you would have to drop back to the beginner level. So mine's a bit short, so I'm going to stand on it with one foot, stand on it with 2 feet and shorten it if it feels very easy for you. Elbows on waist. In fact, this is a little bit short, this one. Elbows on waist and open the arms. I'm just looking to see if I can see another one. There should be some more, but they seem to have all disappeared. Let's have a look. Put in the wrong place, perhaps. So you're doing your dumbbell weight as elbows on waist, opening the arms and lifting up, and try not to let that strap pull you down, because the strap's clearly going to want to pull you down. So we don't want that to happen. I'm just going to find the other bands over here. So we're just doing this. I want to come back to that other band for when we do our legs, because it's better on your legs in particular. And then let's just make that the last one. Okie doke, so last one. And grow tall, shoulders back and down, elbows against waist, and feel yourself elevating. And try and grow taller, even though the band is pulling us down. Elbows onto the side of the body and open out the arms. That's it, good. Roll the shoulders, nod your head. Take the band forward. This is one we give for wrist issues. Yeah, only if we need to strengthen the wrist. Band forward. Lift the band higher if you can. Oh, it's a bit stronger, so I can not do that so well. That's it, Judy. So ideally, and don't bend the elbows, ladies. There's a softness to the elbows, but you're not like this. So can you see I've got my elbows slightly bent, but they're not really bent. That's a different exercise, actually. Up. Now drop the shoulders. Grow tall and rotate in the wrists. Just allow the wrists to rotate again. A good one for strengthening of wrists and forearms, of course. Good. And check that your neck isn't too stiff. So let's find your bendy ball. We're going to put this between the legs and we're going to do some squats, adding in a bicep curl and a tricep press back. So again, to make sure you can feel the legs. Straight away when you put the bendy ball between your legs activate around your knees. And we're starting to well, it is a ski squat, yeah, but with a bicep curl. And as we come up, push the elbows back, roll the shoulders, and then take the arms backwards from bending at the elbows. And the arms stay close to the body. So elbows in, bicep curl. Now that might be a bit easy, so if your band is easy, so we'll just stay down here, shorten the band, and we'll do some pull-ups here. If the band's easy, down in this position, it will feel too easy for you. So fully take the band, release the arms, and fully bring the wrist and the hands towards your shoulders. We'll stay there. We'll come up, roll the shoulders, bend the elbows, press back. We'll just stay in the standing position and we don't have to adjust the band too much. That's it. This is a tricep press back. Good. And as you do this, try and grow taller and slimmer. Yes. If you would like to be taller and slimmer, that is, which might apply to most of us. I don't know. Maybe you don't want to be any taller. And again, a couple more. Last one coming up. Good. And then let's use the band to release necks. So here we need resistance in the band with straight arms. So shorten your band. Okay, so when you pull against it, there's resistance with straight arms. We inhale, we bring the shoulders to the ears, deliberate shrug the shoulders, exhale, roll the shoulders back and down. The band should draw the shoulders down at the same time. Imagine you're being pulled from the crown to upwards. So inhale, shrug, elbows stay, don't really bend your elbows, and exhale, drop the shoulders down and feel the shoulders depressing by elevating to the ceiling with you. That's it, good. So you're trying to create this little more length in your neck. The neck gets longer and the shoulders go lower. No compression there. Inhale, one more. Very slowly release. See if you can release even lower and slide those shoulders down. Very good. And take a nod of the head. We will now do an exercise again for wrists. Now this one can be done by using a door handle or shoulders. Now actually there's only a few of us, so why don't we all, I'll stand here so I'm on the camera. Christine, actually if you take that door handle, Paula, you go there. Oh yes, you can, or Paula, you take this one, and Judy, you take this one if you would. So just walk over to the door. You'll have to close the door for this. So you may have seen me teach these. These are physio exercises that are given by physios, obviously, or myself included, for shoulder problems. Now, if you've got one tighter shoulder, we're going to spend longer on that side. So what you're going to do is just wrap the band, as you're doing, Christine, around the... you're a little bit... I know that's a little bit high, Paula, so do your best. It's not too high, you just haven't got lots of space for your ledge, but stand away a little bit and hold your outside hand, so in my case it's my right hand, and across your body like this, okay? So what you do, shoulders down, grow tall, and you just simply pull the arm across your body. That's it. Don't twist your body, keep your body square. These are physio exercises for shoulder issues, so if you ever have a shoulder injury, and it's quite common, lots of us get them from time to time, it's good to know some of your physio exercises. Now as you pull across, we'll hold it for the count of 3 seconds and slowly release. Draw it across, hold it, shoulder down, grow tall and release. And you normally do about 10 of these, we'll make this the last one, but at least 3 times a day. Not just this one, there are some others. So we're going to face the door frame or whatever else you might be using and pull back. Again, nice and square, just pull back and hold. So what's happening, you're strengthening all of the small muscles around the shoulder socket. We have 5 small muscles and they're known as the rotator cuffs, and we almost always have injured one of those when we have got a shoulder injury. So there's lots in this sequence, but I'll just show you 1 or 2 and we'll pull back 1 more, hold it. And there is a dumb waiter. We won't do it because we've done the dumb waiter in standing, but what you would do, you'd have your elbow on the waist, you can try it out and just pull outwards like this. So we've done it clearly with 2 hands when we were doing that. Okay, so I don't need you to do that one again. Now what we're going to do is simply turn the other way and do the same sequence. So the hand points towards your tummy, not like the dumb waiter when it's outwards, and you square and you pull outwards. So if you had a shoulder injury, you would definitely do more on your injured side. Maybe you do that side 3 times a day, but you still need to do some on your other side, otherwise we get out of balance. But if you see a physio, they'll normally just say, oh, do this side and do so many times a day. And 3 times a day is common, but sometimes it's more. It's not usually less. 3 sets of 10, or sports therapists I know also tend to go for that. So again, we'll just hold it, keep breathing. So ideally you'd hold it for about 3 seconds. And hold it one more. And then we turn and face the wall and pull backwards. That's it. Grow tall. Always think tall. Always think of your posture. Am I sinking into this, or am I drawing up on my pelvic floor, navel back to spine? Are my shoulders sitting back in my socket? So it's like you're constantly checking in with yourself, and then it becomes habit. You don't slump, or very rarely slump. I tend to only slump when I'm really tired, or even then I don't really slump. But if I'm sitting in a bad position and the chair is designed, or like something like an aeroplane when we can fly, they're not good designs, so they're not good for your body. And hold it. And then we'll just remind ourselves, we'll turn around and we'll take the elbow against the waist, open out. That's your dumb waiter. That's it. You don't have to do any of those, it's just to remind you. So elbow against your waist, Christine, and go palm pointing outwards, and you open out. That's it. That's it. Now, ladies, as you all got a door frame, we're going to do a couple of others. These are really, really good for any type of shoulder injuries or any type of hunching. You put your hands, ideally on the door frame, just you might need to watch, and it's like you're about to do a press up. You walk, come back, and you simply press against the door frame with that shape. It's a really good exercise because you can see you're opened, but you're strengthening. So if you've got the space, again, don't worry if you haven't quite got the space, put it onto the door frame, ladies, rather than the door itself. I wouldn't like you to fall through the door. And Paula, bring your arms down a bit and put them on the door frame. Yes, but bring your arms down and bend your elbows more. Bend your elbows, more down, bend. Now it is a bit wide for you, so I'm lucky where you can very welcome to come and try here. The shape I've got is just about the right size, so if you're a bit too far open, even here, I can push against the wall. It's just that I've got an more open stance. So you might want to look, it would work that way too. So you can use the outer part of the wall. That's it. Oh, no, not quite like that, Judy. Put all your arm like this. Yeah, that's it. You've got it. Are you the same, Christine? Have you got your elbows? That's it, you've got it. Yeah, that's really good. Well done, ladies. Yeah, well, it's a good one. And just come out of it, ladies. And that's easy, isn't it? You can walk past the door and just, I'm a bit tight in my shoulders. Another one. Now, I'm working with a couple of people who have got issues with bringing the arms up. Partly it's often due to surgery of this area. So what we give to them is walking your hands up a door frame. So maybe initially they can't go very high, but you walk your hands up and let's see if that's stable, and you push against, or you can do it here, but I don't like people to do it because you get finger marks on it. So that. Now, of course, that's too high for some people. So you walk your hands up, anything really, and if you've got some restriction, you don't want that restriction. So I must bring that into the yoga class talking, because we do have, in our beginners yoga, a few people who are a little bit like this. So just practice that at home. Yeah, exactly. All right, well done. So let's come back down, and we'll come straight onto the floor now. Have a bit more music. Let's just do a few starfish. You've done actually quite a lot of abdominal work, but just for the traction work. And we'll do opposite arm and leg away from the center. And you can do it straight at your level. You can go straight into the higher level if you want to take it a bit easier today. Let's keep this door open. Get some nice through flow of air. All right, ladies, so you know your starfish, opposite arm and leg. Are you okay? Yeah, by all means, open all of the doors if you want, as well as the windows. So we can do our basic level, or we can do the legs in the air. Actually, though, apart from it creates through flow of air, I don't think it makes it any cooler, because it's cooler outside than warmer outside than it is in the studio, of course. But you can feel more through flow of air, which of course we can do. I'll bend the knees for this, and opposite arm and opposite leg, like you're on track. That's it. And you can have your legs in the air if you feel strong in your core. And remember, the rule of thumb is never let your back arch or your tummy pop up. That's happening in any exercise. That's incorrect, and you might risk injury. So you've got your legs in the air. If you feel strong, you can go for both arms, both legs, straight away. Keep breathing, stay with it. A couple more coming up. Last one. Good. And then take your bendy ball between your knees and we'll go straight into shoulder bridges. So that pelvic tilt, absolutely essential. Again, use your pressure mats for these if you've got them with you. Try and do this daily. It will keep your spine moving. And then let's very slowly start to raise up bone by bone. Chin tucks in. Inhale at the top, exhale to lower, bone by bone, in at the bottom. And if you're not feeling unstable, by all means go ahead and add your arms. And we'll do it just twice more. So I want to add some more glute work in a couple of moments. Good. And we'll make that the last one. Well, we now draw the knees to the chest. Give ourselves a rock. And before we go into some strength work, let's do a little bit more loosening in those hips and lower back. I always like to ensure personally that, I've done a good warm up, loosen before I start strength, and then you need to stretch again afterwards. So let's push the knees outwards to mobilize the hip joints. Right, you're doing your breaststroke swimming. That's it. Big circles, everybody. Push the knees out, draw them back in. Good. And then let's change the direction. And then draw the knees towards your chest again. Okay, so we're going to come to side lying and we're going to use our resistance strap. It is a good idea, especially if you've got a neck issue, to have a cushion for your arms. So when you take your arm out, you put your head not just on your arm, but your cushion is on your arm. And we're going to, you can either tie your strap. So if you need to use this for strengthening the hips, you can make sure you've got the right amount of, the right circle size in order to give you the right level of resistance, or you can just hold it with your hands. So you lie on your side and you stack your hips over your hips, your knees over your knees. You take your arm out and put your head onto the arm, but ideally you might prefer to have a neck cushion on the arm. Now we're going to check we've got alignment, so check you've got your waist off the mat, stomach's drawn in, natural curve, and begin to open the top leg, but keep your feet together ladies, and open the top knee. Now there needs to be enough resistance in that band, which again, if you've got the light band, it might feel a bit easy. You might have to half it or shorten it. So when you lift your leg, there is resistance in that band. So if you're on a light band, we tend to use light bands perhaps more for the wrists and the arms because your glutes are really strong muscles. So unless you're very, very weak in your glutes, we'd probably, especially if you've been doing some work with us, we'd probably suggest the blue band and into the medium level, or just as we're doing, shorten your band.
What's the toughest level? Is that yellow?
Well, in ours, it's black. Okay. Yeah, it depends, I think, on probably the manufacturer, but ours is red for beginners, blue for intermediates, and black. But that's in the stretchy bands. On the ones here on the side, it's green, pink, purple. So lift your top leg, ladies, and just press upwards against the resistance of the band till your muscle, keep pressing, little like pulsing, till your muscles in your bottom really know about it. And they need to ache, they need to know you've worked. So keep pressing, keep squeezing, it's got to become hard. You're tiring. If you're not tiring yet, you can keep the bottom knee on the floor, but lift the legs from the knee downwards. Again, it makes it slightly harder. And you should get to the point when you're thinking, no, I can't do any more of these, and you want to rub your glutes. So if you've got to that point, you go ahead. I don't think there'll be time this morning, but I would definitely recommend rubbing, rolling your buttocks with one of those blue bendy balls, blue prickly balls, I should say, or your rolling pin. So let's go to the other side. Now there's a whole host of exercises you can do for your legs with your strap, but we won't have a chance to do them all. Just wanted to focus on hips, lower back, sacroiliac a bit today. So that's what we're doing. So we're opening the top knee. We'll just do it nice and slowly to start with. As usual, check your position. You feel that into your glutes. Drawing at the waist. Navel comes to your spine, waist off the mat. Keep breathing, of course. And it's slowly up and slowly down. There's another option, we haven't done it, so you can hold and lift and hold, a bit like we did earlier on when you were doing your band for your arms and shoulders. You'd hold about 3 seconds. Sometimes it's set at holding for 3 seconds. And then we're going to simply pulse up till we feel it, till the muscles are aching. Keep going, keep breathing, and I'm definitely getting to the point where I'm feeling it, so I'm going to stop. Yeah, it's becoming comfy and you just feel that need to rub. We'll be coming to some stretching soon, but first of all, let's do a little bit of back work. Roll onto our tummy, and we'll come straight into a diamond press today. Fingertips at brow line, pelvis square. Just wiggle your hips, ladies. Check you're equally weighted. Look down, and as you exhale, you can rise up, looking down at the mat, lengthening from the crown to the tailbone, shoulders down, and a breath out on the lift. Lift and hold on the up. Shoulders back and down, hold, take the arms off the mat, keep looking at the mat, stay with your breath. Look down and come straight into Sphinx. Lengthen from your crown to your toes. All the way up, let's stay with it. Look at the floor. Stay with your breathing. Take the hands behind, squeeze our shoulders down and back, keep looking at the mat. And if we want, we can lift our legs as well, so we feel that into the glutes. And of course, we can also lift the arms. So see how all that feels. Keep breathing, lifting, lifting. Again, be prepared to work. When you feel you've had enough, that's your choice. Don't stop when somebody else does. Simply zigzag our legs from side to side. And now let's go for our quadricep stretching. So either holding on with one hand or 2 hands or using your strap. Push your hip bone into the mat. Slightly lift your knee if you can. Again, stay with the breath. You can even pull on your foot if you can reach your foot. So if you want to put your toes onto your bottom, stretch your shin and your foot. Switch the side. And lie down, hands under your shoulders. Lengthen, cobras. Our best version. And let's zigzag ourselves back. I personally prefer frog pose. It's a stronger stretch, but feel free to go into child pose if your knees aren't happy with frog. When we turn our toes outwards, as we know, and we sink down and widen the inner thighs. It gives you a great release in your sacroiliac joint. Now these held stretches, of course, are really important. And we don't hold the stretches in long enough either in any of our classes other than the classes designed to do that. So I'm actually teaching the yin class tonight. Normally we have restorative yoga, that's a held stretch coming up, but we're having to amalgamate today because of shortage of teachers. And Rich has got his gravity yoga, which is a held stretch class. So you've got 3 classes which work just with purely releasing. I would advise you to try at least if not every week, sometimes to do one of those, because you really feel that release, and you'll save yourself, going to your chiropractors and your physios as much. Good. Now very slowly come out. We're going to carry on doing some glute stretching. If you're not happy with the pigeon pose on your front, you can do it in supine, so you're all familiar with that one. We tend to use this if there are knee issues. Otherwise, we're going to add the pigeon pose. So we bring our right leg forward, and if we start on all fours, the right foot needs to be close to the left knee, and we want that right shin to be as parallel to the front mat as the front of the mat as you can. So you can hold on to your foot, and then that left leg wants to drop back, okay? So I can't make my right shin parallel to the front edge of your mat, some people can. Put your hands either side, and firstly, drop the hip and see if you can do a bit of a back bend. Keep breathing. Drop the shoulders as well. And then very slowly, you're going to come down. So use your hands, your elbows, just as slow as you can, making sure you're not falling back twisting to your right side, so both hips are square. And if anybody can come all the way down, go ahead. We do need to be careful of the right knee in particular. So if the knee is starting to trouble you, then you would be better off on your back. But otherwise, pigeon pose is a great release, a great stretch for not only your glutes, but also your hip flexors. Drop your shoulders, again breathe. This is again a stretch that benefits from at least a 3-minute hold. See if you can soften into it a bit more. Great for sciatica, great for hip pain. And again, we don't have time to hold it for, the full amount of time. So when you come up, slowly, always slowly, and maybe you could even add another back bend. And then again, out of it slowly. So come back onto all fours. Now bring your left leg forward. Open out the shin as much as you can. I normally like to hold my foot because it stops me rotating. Right leg stretches back. Try and drop the right hip towards the mat. Straighten out the leg as much as you can. And then find that position, hands either side of your knee while you drop the right hip. Lengthen and add a back bend to your capacity. Don't hurt yourself, but be prepared for a strong stretch. Keep breathing. And then very slowly, try and do it carefully. Again, we can injure ourselves when we're a bit too quick. Drop down. Hip drops towards the mat. Keep breathing. Soften and surrender. Don't twist your pelvis. And be mindful of your own body. You've all been coming long enough to be conscious of how you're holding yourself. Your held stretches, when you hold them for longer, they're a real test of the mind as well. That's actually very good for the mind. The mind can feel very busy at first, but you learn to be with that, and ultimately the mind starts to quieten. Because you can't go anywhere else. You've just got to be here. So we slowly come back up. We can another little bit of a back bend. Good. And then smoothly and slowly, let's come onto our back for our final hamstring stretch. Let's use our bendy ball. Use a strap if your hamstrings are a little tight. Put the bendy ball underneath your buttocks. Hug the knees in. Again, it gives us that lovely release. Extend your legs into the air. Holding on a strap if you wish. Otherwise, flex and point the ankles. Feeling that stretch around the back of the knees. Holding wherever you can reach, trying to straighten your legs to your capacity. And again, come to those lovely, calm, deep breaths. Eyes closed. Turn that fire point. Good, well done. Stay with it a little while longer. If you're quite flexible, you can draw more on your feet and you'll start to feel the stretch in your lower back and your buttocks. Almost like you're trying to fold yourself in half. Your stomach comes toward, well, your thighs come towards your stomach, not the other way around. Thighs towards your stomach. Don't try and elevate your stomach, will you, ladies, to meet your thighs? That wouldn't be good. And then very slowly come off. Let's take a final inner thigh stretch. Soles of the feet together now. Let the knees just drop wide. Arms make that same shape above the head. And we'll close the eyes and take a few rounds of breathing here. Please make sure you're not arching your back. And I always like to just reset for a few moments of calm by lying on our back in Shavasana. So we always finish in this calm, peaceful way. And when we start to recognize this, we know we've come to do some work, we know to come to get fit and well and healthy, but we also know that we are focusing on our calming, our breath awareness. So these skills, we build these new neurological patterns, they stay with us, and the more we practice, the more it's a natural, it's default for us. And then we take a big long stretch along the mat, begin to circle your wrists under your ankles, both directions. Stretch your body as if you're on the rack, take a breath in and sigh. And again, in and sigh. Without opening the eyes, bend the knees, roll to your favorite side. Rest there a couple of moments. And always very, very slowly. When you feel ready, sit yourself back up and using, of course, your cross-sitting as a posture. So we're developing our ability to sit well, cross-legged, quietly and calmly. And do your own body check and scan now. Again, so it becomes that habit that we practice. Check in with your shoulders. I often think, well, I'm nice and relaxed, and I'll just do a little bit more of a deeper scan, and I notice I've got tension in my shoulders. So just a little drop of the shoulders, but at the same time elevate yourself. Check with your breath. Rub your palms till there's warmth. Palm the eyes. When you're ready, you can slowly remove your hands and open the eyes. Well done, everybody. I hope you're all keeping very well, especially if you're watching at home. And of course, we'd love to see you back with us. Thank you for being with us. Namaste.